Congratulations on making it to the semifinals. Unlike the other artists on this show, you knew you advanced shortly after your performance. How did you end up celebrating?
I'm thank you for having me. First of all, I love talking about this show because it's been such a fun experience. And I am so grateful I did not have to wait an entire week to find out that I was going through. I felt so bad for the other contestants. I can't imagine that nerve-wracking feeling. Even on The Voice, we found out the next day. So having to wait
Mhm.
an entire week and then go home and come back to LA, that was too much. So I'm glad I found out. And honestly, my family was there in town. My wife was there in town. Some friends were there. So afterwards, it was very late when we finally finished with everything. So I just met them in the lobby of the hotel, sat with them for a few, said great to see you. And then I went straight to bed because I was exhausted. And I flew home the next morning.
I love your song, Sparrow. Can you tell us about the inspiration behind it and how you feel it represents your home state of Kentucky?
Yeah, Sparrow is a very special song for me because I, first of all, wrote it myself. I was very heavily involved in the creative process from the very beginning, where I wrote it in my little writing room upstairs in my house, to taking it into the studio with other writers and tweaking it and producing it with a producer in the studio. I was very involved in all that process up until the mixing and mastering. And so sharing it on that stage, it almost feels like you're sharing one of your babies with the world for the first time. It's a very exhilarating experience. It's wonderful and terrifying at the same time. But as an artist, I really believe in the message of my music. I believe that what I have to say is what's most important. And I just felt like this song was what the world needed to hear at this moment. We've been through a crazy couple of years. There's still so much uncertainty, still so much distance between all of us. And I just wanted to remind people that we can rise together, and there's a better, brighter day to look forward to, and not to give up on themselves just yet, because we're all just, we're all still in the process. We're all miracles in the making. And so that's what this song is about. And it's been really encouraging to hear from so many people so far on how they're connecting with the song, how they're being inspired and encouraged by the message. um, I was just saying in an interview a few minutes ago that I saw a comment this week that said the song Sparrow saved my life. And
Mm.
I just, I don't take that lightly. I don't take that for granted. I'm very grateful that, I was able to share this song with everyone, and that it connected so well on a stage like the American Song Contest stage. The production was beautiful. All of it was amazing. But I think really people are walking away with the message, and that's what matters most to me.
Mm. And you've had so much success throughout your career. What was it about American Song Contest that made you want to be a part of this competition?
I've gotten this question a lot, and I've gotten a lot of comments from people that are like, now it's someone else's turn. No fair. Let it right. But really, the reason I was drawn to the show and that I wanted to participate is because it doesn't feel like it's about me this time. This is an opportunity to represent my state of Kentucky, which I love very much. I'm very proud to be from here. And this is a chance to sort of shift the spotlight that was put on me to the place and the people that have made me who I am and that I love so much. And so I wanted to take this as an opportunity to show some of Kentucky. I knew they would be coming here and filming and showing that sort of in my pre-performance package. And I wanted to show off what we had. I wanted to talk about how incredible our people are. I wanted to show, the world that we are resilient, we're strong, and that there are so many people from where I'm from that are so gifted in so many ways. And I wanted to be able to represent that more than anything else. So that was what really sealed the deal for me, that I would get to highlight the people that mean so much to me.
Audiences fell in love with you on The Voice. How has that experience prepared you for the longevity that you've had in your career as well as American Song Contest?
I say a lot that The Voice is sort of like music career boot camp. You're in this pressure cooker where every week you're working on a new performance and you're doing interviews on camera, but you're also working in the studio and recording songs, and you're also working with stylists and doing video shoots. And it's just such an insane whirlwind of an experience that you walk away knowing how to do so many more things than you knew before. And, having what I consider a successful career in the industry, I may not be, a household name or the biggest artist out there, but, I've been able to provide for my family, and I've been able to stay on the road and share my music with people all over the world. And I find myself in a lot of situations where, had I not had that experience, I would feel very underprepared.
Mm.
And I would have to say I would be still trying to figure out who I am, which is something that happened really quickly when I was on the show. It's such a high pressure situation that you have to very quickly almost not grow up, but grow up as an artist and as a creative. And you have to know in the depths of your soul who you are and what kind of artist you want to be. So that's something that happened really quickly for me on The Voice. And it's carried me through the last, if you can believe it, 7 years. I cannot believe it's been almost 7 years since then. It's really carried me through. And it's, yeah, I still have lessons I learned on the show that come into play, in my daily life, my daily business in this music industry.
Yeah, you were speaking of the message of Sparrow a little bit earlier. You have such a powerful voice. When you're working on a song, how do you find the balance between getting the song's message across while also showing off your vocal range?
It's a very interesting process, I will say that. I think I'm getting better at it with time, but it's something that I really have had to learn because I love to sing. I'm a singer first. And so I have to learn, number one, that just because I can sing it doesn't mean I should. Just because you can hit those notes doesn't mean everybody wants to hear you hit those notes sometimes. And two, it's, that the melody is very important, but for me, it has to highlight the message and not distract from the message. So I have to make sure that I'm finding the best moments to go for those high notes, or I'm crafting the journey of the song from the verses to the choruses to the bridges, that in a way that tells the story best and conveys the most emotion. So it's a bit of a process, and it's part of the reason why I love co-writing and working with other songwriters, because that's a very collaborative process. And then sometimes it's best to have another brain, another ear in the room saying, yes, that is a very high note, and it's very impressive that you can do that. But does it make the most sense at that spot? Or does it really, does it bring life to the line, or does it take away from the line? So it's somewhat of a process that I'm slowly getting better at. And I think Sparrow, between myself and the people that I worked with, I think we were able to really nail it on this one.
Yeah, you definitely did. And as you look ahead to the semifinals, how are you planning on building on this momentum? What can fans expect from you?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's interesting on a show like this as compared to The Voice. The semifinals, I will be singing Sparrow again on stage. So, we're working now to find new ways in the production and the staging to sort of bring new life to it, to breathe some fresh life into the performance. Vocally, I'm trying to find ways that I can, sort of change a few things, tweak a few things so it feels new and fresh, but still emotional and still tells the story of the song. So it's definitely something that we're working on, and something I'm excited about exploring. It's not every day that you get to, you know, think about presenting the same song in a new way. And so I think obviously this creative team that's working on the show is incredible. And I think audiences are just going to be like, I was blown away at everyone's first round performances. So I can't imagine just how mind blowing it's going to be for audiences to see this, semifinal performance. I know for me personally, the stakes are high and I'm ready to like step up and take it to the next level. And so it's going to be pretty wild to see what we're able to create on that stage.
And the perfect segment of this next question. But what I love about this show is it highlights so many incredible songwriters. Is if you could pick another song of a different contestant that you wish you wrote, which would it be and why?
Oh, that's so difficult. Yeah, it is special because it highlights the songwriting part of it, which I think, I love American Idol, I love The Voice, but you sometimes walk away going, okay, I love their voice, but who are they as an artist? What do they have to
Yeah.
say? And I think this show highlights that really beautifully. If I could have written one other song, there's probably a bunch, but right off the top of my head, I think of Chloe Frederick's song, probably because she was in my episode and I got to see it live. Um, but her song, when she says, I can't make you love me, but I want to make you anyway. I was like, oh my gosh, her voice is amazing. But just that line specifically is like, oh, so good. Which she got to move on as well. So I'm really happy for her. But yeah, I probably would want to have written that song.
Well,
Ooh, or Broderick's song. I really liked his as well. Yeah, from Kansas. One of the two.
question for you. You've had such an incredible journey in this career in this industry. Has anything surprised you? And is there a moment that stands out?
Um, I'm very much surprised all the time. To be honest, it's sort of this game that you play where you don't know what's going to happen day to day. The nature of the industry, especially in the last couple of years, with live events being shut down and tours being canceled and all those things happening, you never know what's going to be coming at you next. And so some days you're just at home, with the dogs and your wife, having lunch together and cleaning in the house and doing things around. And then some days you're getting phone calls to come and be on brand new, national television singing shows. And then some days you're like in Italian villas with Andrea Bocelli singing, in his backyard. So it's just, you never know what to expect. And that has been one of the most stressful, but one of the most beautiful parts of it. I found myself working with some incredible people, sharing the stage or working in the studio with amazing people. But one of the biggest I would have to say is probably when I wrote the song Ashes for Celine Dion, who actually, crazy full circle moment, won Eurovision years back. That was a total shocker for me. I would never imagine I would have the opportunity to write a song for someone that I respect and appreciate their gift so much. She is like one of the top vocalists in the world, in my opinion. So that was like a huge moment for me. And it's inspiring. You want to keep writing songs, you want to keep singing, you want to keep pushing forward. And regardless of what happens on American Song Contest, I feel proud of being able to represent Kentucky and being able to share this song Sparrow. And I'm just excited to continue creating music, whether it's for myself or other people, that still, lifts up people and inspires people and keeps putting me in positions where I still get to be surprised all the time.